Hey everyone, this is Justin from the Wrap Institute. We're joined today by Cordell Hardy. Thank you for taking the time.
Oh, my pleasure.
So Cordell works for 3M, and your job at 3M is technically what?
I'm the technical director for Commercial Solutions Division, and so we're responsible for a wide range of films used in the wrap industry and beyond.
Nice, very cool. So this is a video as part of the Green Equals Green series that the Wrap Institute introduced, and I'm really happy to talk to you today because, I mean, 3M is one of the foremost companies, I feel, in the wrap industry who's really pushing green. So today we're going to talk about materials and actually kind of helping people understand what is green and how to make that better. So
Absolutely.
First and foremost, what materials from 3M now are kind of pivoting towards being greener?
Sure. Well, one of the first and foremost to talk about is our Envision line, LX and SV 480, as well as 3730 for illuminated signage and 48C. These are non-PVC, high premium performance conformable films that are established already and leading the industry for non-PVC applications. Great for textured surfaces, great durability, print quality, and have the PVC or non-PVC positioning. Yep.
Nice. So I mean, at 480, I remember when 480 first came out. That was like what, 4 or 5 years ago that it came out, or?
Yeah, a little earlier. So 2013, I think.
2013.
Yeah, so.
And then, so that was a premium cast film, so super conformable recessed areas. So the benefits of that, which is interesting, is it was actually more conformable than standard PVC films. Why is that per se?
Well, the materials that are used, as we're trying to work on developing non-PVC, one of the things that we wanted to do is not just think about sustainability from a materials perspective, but also keep stretching the boundaries of performance, because that's important for customers as well.
Yeah, and so what was nice is the material got greener, PVC-free, but actually got performed better.
Yep, absolutely.
And you could take it into deeper spaces and stuff like that. But also I found that people said, like, if they worked in warm climates, and when the sun hit it, it actually didn't get as warm as, like, say, PVC film, so you could actually work outside if you had to.
Yeah, so I mean, it's one of the great circumstances in product development when you work on something new and it performs better. Yeah, and that was one of the sweet outcomes that we had with that project.
Which is cool. And then you guys now have a calendar version.
Yes, we do.
And that's the benefit. And so the price point, actually, some of these films they say are more costly, but it's actually not that more costly than PVC films.
No, so I mean, and if you think about, and that's one of the things that we'll talk about today, it's not just the materials cost, but also the overall cost of ownership, installation, and the workflow. So if you're able to save on things like removal or get good durability and be able to extend the applications into other areas you otherwise wouldn't be able to go, you have to think about that as a cost as well.
So you're saying, so now with PVC-free films, that you're saying that in most of the times they perform longer, so they last longer on vehicles.
Yeah, so you have some durability opportunities, and also just being able to use it in other places that wouldn't really fit as well for cast vinyl. So I mean, you talked about textured surfaces, and so the application is easier and the removal is easier with the 480 product in many instances. Yeah.
And so what is the benefit of moving away from the, say, PVC-free films? What is the argument for that?
Yeah, so it really depends on location, and so PVC with disposal, if you're incinerating waste, you can generate some not so great chemicals and outcomes. So that's one of the things that people think about. And then also just with the supply chain overall for PVC, one of the interests for industry is to try to think about ways to reduce use of halogens. So, but that said, the PVC material itself is very stable. And has, it's widely used. Film is actually one of the minority uses for vinyl PVC, and so it's used all over the place and has been for a long time, and will be for years to come. And so now we've talked about material that's greener, which is interesting. But even if it's PVC, I think what's interesting we talked about earlier about is that actually in some cases wrapping items is actually greener than not. So what's the story with that? So I looked at your Green Equals Green videos, and in one of the videos you talked about the waste that happens at an installer's business, and that's certainly something to be thinking about. You strip off a liner and you create some waste that way. But it's important also to keep in mind that many instances the film installation saves on a much larger scale of waste. So if you're resurfacing a door or a cabinet or protecting the service life of a vehicle, film is much more sustainable than not filming. And so just thinking about how your customers as an installer are being more sustainable with their work and their operations is another thing to be keeping in mind. Yes, there is a cost with the liner use and maybe some scrap in film, but a lot of times that's a lot less damaging than what otherwise would happen.
100%. And so basically the idea for that is, I started in my workshops and in the training for the Wrap Institute, I talk about doing the black and white. So if you do the black and white, you kind of add up the numbers. So immediately I hear people a lot of say, well, you're just launching this Green Equals Green program, and if you wrap something, it's not green. But it's actually quite the opposite of the case if you do the black and white. So like, for instance, I came to 3M and I got trained with Scott Roth about the Dyno program. And with, let's say, hotel rooms, like hotels want to refurbish, then redo their rooms and stuff like that. Instead of taking those doors and putting in landfill, which actually is massive, they found that by wrapping them, you have a lower environmental cost. You actually can redo that door and cheaper. So it's cheaper, which makes money, and then it's better for the environment.
It's a quintessential green equals green story, right? So everybody saves, and then you drum up some nice business. So
and that's the importance of doing the black and white, because if you don't do the black and white out of the numbers, then you just think vinyl is bad, but it's not. So that's one instance for architecture. But what about, let's say, windows and stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah. So I mean, we're a market leader in window film for solar control cars and buildings.
Yep.
And so the Skin Cancer Foundation has actually endorsed our automotive window films for helping to prevent skin cancer, because it helps to block UV rays. So if you think about sustainability from a broader health and wellness perspective, there's certainly a benefit there.
That's interesting.
But if you take off the solar load on the cabin, you have to use less air conditioning, and that takes away some of the energy consumption for the car. It extends the fuel efficiency, whether you're a gas or electric car, and then range extension for electric cars is a big deal.
Wow.
Right? So solar control films or sun control films are certainly another element of sustainability that installers can offer their customers.
So by tinting the windows of a car, not only make it cooler, but also prevent skin cancer, which is interesting. But then also your battery charge is actually going to last. So for electric cars, it's actually more important to tint your windows.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's one of the areas where we're partnering quite actively with electric vehicle vendors to try to help underscore that value proposition. It's a big deal.
But I like it because then obviously it means that there's more income, because if people see the benefit of that putting in their car, obviously it means your installers are making more money because they see the benefit, increases profits, all that kind of good stuff. And I guess, also, what about for architecture?
Yeah, so we talked about the architectural finishes. So the big area there is in refresh and refurbishment. You talked about that some with saving on doors and countertops. So for retail, hospitality, so a hotel or mass market retailer, they're constantly dealing with damage, and so there's a capital cost in replacing that, and so architectural finishes can help in reducing the need there. And then if you're even outside of refresh, if it's new construction, being able to use architectural finishes, we make very high quality architectural finishes that are competitive in appearance with natural materials. So we're able to save on the initial installation by using cheaper structural materials and then surfacing to give that same natural effect.
And they last longer too.
Absolutely.
And then also tinting the windows lowers electricity bills, air conditioner, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really fascinating perspective. So again, 3M's really pushing matters. Any new products that you guys have coming out in the near future?
Yeah, so it's certainly nothing I'm going to tip here.
I
mean, one of the things that we can talk about is, sustainability is integral to the fabric of 3M. In 2019, we announced that all of our new products going forward are going to have a sustainability benefit, which is a big change for the company. Right? I mean, we always focus on sustainability with pollution prevention pays and, transitioning our headquarters to 100% renewable energy sources, reducing our carbon footprint by 68% since 2002, even as our business has grown. So we're a very sustainably focused company. And specific to the wrap industry, we certainly have some initiatives that are focused on sustainability, and we'll be happy to spend some time with you to talk about those in the future.
That's cool. And obviously, what I like working, 3M as a company as a whole is, you've been very kind of green equals green since the beginning. So I mean, you see that obviously greening your processing is actually more beneficial, but it's also good for the environment. So even though you're a giant company, $32 billion company or something like that, fascinating company because
I'm impressed.
I try to remember my numbers. I think it's a bit inspiring to watch you guys come out, because you guys, you're in innovation with green materials. You're the first one to come to market with it. You're pushing it. So.
And likewise, Justin, it's really an honor to spend some time with you today. I appreciate the leadership that you're showing in the wrap industry by just talking about this. I mean, it's one of the things that people kind of wonder about. Customers ask about it, and you're hitting it head on. So really, we thank you.
Appreciate it, man. So cool. Thank you, Cordell, for coming in with the Wrap Institute today, and Green Equals Green with materials and actually wrapping cool stuff. So thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take care.